Hello and welcome to Daily Politics, reaching you from TrustTV here in Abuja. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy and governance. I am Suleiman. Today, our focus is on women and the 2023 elections. In both the PDP and the APC, the body language, the horse trading, and the subtle campaigns for Nigeria's highest office in 2023 have commenced. Yet, in both parties, the voice of women have so far been mute. Even when women make up half of the voters in the country. In Nigeria presently, women make up just about 6% of the National Assembly members, and no woman has ever been elected as a governor in any of the 36 states since 1999. That is, even after 6 general elections. So today we raise the question, where are the women in the politics of 2023? How would the amendments to the Electoral Act help or hinder women in their participation in politics? And can women swim against the tide of this election cycle? Or will things remain the same yet again? Joining me on the program today are 2 women with experience of active participation and leadership in Nigerian politics. Hajiya Inna Chiroma is a former Minister of Women Affairs who recently contested to be the PDP's National Vice Chairman for North. Honorable Stella Oketeke is the National Women Leader of the APC and a former Executive Director of the Nigerian Export-Import Bank. But right now we're still awaiting Madam Oketeke's appearance on the show. When she comes up, she'll be with us. Welcome, Hajiya.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. But as usual, we'll take just 1 minute to bring you a roundup of news, politics in the news today. Please stay with us.
The Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Orji Uzor Kalu, has urged the leadership of the All Progressives Congress to postpone the party's convention slated for February next year. The former governor of Abia State stated this in a letter addressed to the national chairman, Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, Governor Mimala Buni, and members of the Planning Committee. Kalu, in a letter cited by a newsman, appealed to the party to consider conducting the presidential primaries and election of National Working Committee of the party on the same day. In the acknowledged letter, Kalu warned that holding the convention in February without sorting out the minor disagreements that arose during the congresses will lead to implosion. National State House of Assembly has screened and confirmed all 14 commissioner nominees sent to it by the state governor, Abdullahi Sule. Among them is Abimiko Hannatu Bala, a 28-year-old female nominee. Ibrahim Balarabe Abdullahi, the Speaker of the House, announced their confirmation after their screening during the House proceedings in Lafia, the state capital. He urged the commissioner nominees, including a 28-year-old female nominee, to leave above board while discharging their duties after being inaugurated by the governor. Former President of the Senate Bukola Saraki has charged Nigerians to interrogate politicians on their plans for healthcare during campaigns ahead of the 2023 elections. He also called for stronger political will amongst politicians and policy makers to achieve universal basic healthcare in Nigeria. This was contained in a statement signed by the head, Abubakar Bukola Saraki Media Office Abuja, Olu Onnemola. This was contained in a statement signed by the head, Abubakar Bukola Saraki Media Office Abuja. He said that to put healthcare and health security coverage on the front burner, Nigerian leaders at the national and sub-national levels needed to take healthcare delivery for all its citizens more seriously. The former Senate President also emphasized that in a post-2023 Nigeria, the federal government and states must increase the number of those covered by healthcare insurance from the present 3 to 7% of the population to work to attain 100% coverage.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Daily Politics, and now we get into the discussion proper. We're talking with Hajiya Inna Chiroma, a former Minister of Women Affairs and a stalwart of the PDP. So Hajiya, let me put the question to you straight. Where are the women in 2023 electioneering so far?
Thank you very much for having me on your program.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, to this question, I can simply say the women are nowhere to be found.
Okay.
In our politics of today.
Okay.
Because up till now, as we are talking, the voice of women and the participation of women in Nigeria does not matter to the leadership of all the political parties in our country. That's where we are.
Okay.
Yes.
So why is this so? Is it that the women themselves are not bringing themselves forward? Because politics is about interest. It's about, that zeal, that passion to want to be there, to offer yourself for service. So is it that the women are not pushing themselves forward, or that there are no opportunities for them to even push themselves forward?
Actually, women, if you look at the history of politics in Nigeria, or even our independence, Nigeria's women participated effectively. In fact, they are the arrowhead of our independence. Because we all know the barriers where Nigerian women stood up against the foreign government, the British government. And politics in Nigeria, since independence, women have been very active. They have participated effectively. And formation of political parties, we want to have the founding fathers, you have the founding mothers, because we've always been there with them. And we participated effectively in running or the formation of the parties, the development of the parties. The women are there. Because we always work together with the male gender. Each time they call meetings, you find all the women. You will be there with them. When decisions are taken, that's where you don't hear the voice of the women. Because they are not in the decision-making process of the parties. Not to talk of when it comes to elective positions. Initially, when we started, at least we had a better chance because we had so many women in the Senate, so many women in the National Assembly, the state assemblies. Instead for it to be growing, we are going down. So I don't understand why the situation is like this. All over the world, they are now realizing that the voice of the women is also important. It's their country. Nigeria is our country. It belongs to all of us.
Both the men and the women.
Both the men and the women. And I always say that if we go to school, from primary school, secondary school, up to university, we are all there. We will have co-education. You have the girls and the boys. And we sit the same exams. We graduate. We get employments. In the Nigerian constitution, it's not discriminating against anybody when it comes to employment in Nigeria.
Interesting.
But when it comes to politics, that's when you hear the word the women, the female gender, 35% or whatever percent. That's when percentage comes in. And okay, agreed. Let us get the percentage. Are we implementing it? Nigeria in 2006 approved the United Nations position of the 35%.
The Beijing.
Women world over had a meeting in the Beijing conference, Beijing conference, where the 35% was agreed. And Nigeria participated, and Nigeria adopted it. But up to today, as we are talking, nothing's happened to the 35%.
Thank you. So let us look at the position of women in the party, within the parties first, particularly the two major parties, PDP and APC, and then maybe even the smaller parties. There's this idea that the offices that are open to women tend to be women leader, women this. Offices that have to do only with women affairs, not offices that have to do with human affairs for everybody. Why is that so? Is it that the thinking is just that women can handle only women affairs, but they cannot handle national affairs or party affairs?
Well, I think maybe that's the thinking of some people. In fact, some of them believe. I was once the national woman leader of the PDP. And that's what some people even think, that making you the national woman leader, in fact, they are doing a favor. Even to be in the decision-making body of the party. One woman in the PDP now, we used to be 12, and that I was the only one national woman leader out of 12 men. And since even before that, we've been fighting for change on this matter. And now we have 18. And we are saying that out of the 18, give us 35%. Because when it comes to electioneering campaign, you rely on the women to assist, to help.
Yes.
Because we boost the votes. We in fact, we are the voters,
yes.
the women and the youth. That is just the truth. But unfortunately, in the political party structure, women are not considered. They will agree that, yes, you deserve to be heard. You must participate. It's not about only national woman leader. A woman can be the national secretary of the party. We had women ministers. In Nigeria of today, we have women that are doing so well internationally. Why not in the political party? If you make a woman the national secretary of the party, we should not perform.
So where does the problem lie? Because if you look at the constitutions of the major parties, they have provisions for not only promoting women, at least in writing, but also for encouraging them. For example, making purchases of forms for elective offices, free for women or at reduced costs. In fact, for PDP mainly free. For APC, because in 2015 it was coming on newly, they were charging less money, but not free. So where does the problem lie? For example, in your particular case, only a few months ago, you contested to be the vice president, not even vice chairman, not the chairman, the national chairman. And the vice chairman is spread across the geographic zones in the country. So where is the problem? Is it in the structure of the party primaries, consensus, or direct primaries, or indirect primaries? Or is it that women don't have the wherewithal, or we don't know?
Actually, the problem really lies in the democratic structure of our country.
Okay.
We are not practicing democracy as we should.
Okay.
Democracy means voice of the people. The people must make the choice. In the PDP, they have all agreed that women must be considered.
Okay.
I am a member of the NEC. I am a member of the BOT of the party.
Okay.
And each time we have meetings and we raise our objection to what is going on in the party now, they will tell us that, no, don't worry. We are going to correct it.
Okay.
We are going to, in fact, correct the constitution of our party.
Okay.
It already is in the constitution of the party. But what they are now saying is that we must identify the positions that should go to women.
Okay.
That decision was taken in 2017, that the positions must be reserved for women so that the 35% can easily be actualized.
Okay.
But it didn't happen. So even during this convention, when the women said, oh, it's now time for us to now implement the 35%. Oh, no, it's difficult. We did not agree on which positions should go to women, so you people should not complain. We'll do it next time. We said, when is next time?
Okay.
It must be implemented. Because if we have 18 positions, 35%, maybe only 6 positions will go to women. And it can easily be achieved.
Okay.
If we say each geopolitical zone should bring 1 woman in the National Working Committee, it's easy. But you know what? Some of our leaders of this party, of this country, they want to control the party.
Okay.
They share the positions to themselves. When convention is coming and we have the positions, they will say, okay, we have zoned this position to the north, we have zoned this position to the south. Now some leaders will start thinking, what position do I need for my zone? They will now share the positions to the zones they like. And then they will now attach these offices to the people they want.
But could it be because because politics is about representation.
Yes.
It's about reaching out to people, particularly the voters at the grassroots. Could it be that even though women constitute half the electorate, the women in politics do not reach down hard enough to the people, in terms of appeal to voters? Could it be that reason? Because if you can reach to the voters, then you'll be an asset to the party rather than a liability, isn't it? Right. So isn't that a reason?
No. In fact, my brother, what happens in these parties, the leaders rely on the women.
Okay.
When you go to the grassroots, you find that when they want to mobilize people for campaign, it's the women they'll go to and reach them.
Because they're the ones who can enter into their houses. Yeah.
And then you mobilize people for campaign. When they have rallies, they rely on the women to organize or to help them mobilize women and youth to come out for the rallies.
Interesting.
When we go for voting, they rely on the women because the women are the people that are steadfast. They will go there, even if it takes 6 hours, they will wait. They will carry their babies at their back, waiting. It may be raining, it may be very hot, very sunny, but they will insist that they must vote. And these are the women. The leaders, they sit down at home, and they will be asking, what is happening? They are in their comfort of their homes. They don't even go out. But the women are there queuing to ensure that their party wins election. If you elect a governor, if you look at the strength of voters, you will find that more than 60% they are the women and the youth. So where are we?
But what about card-carrying party members? Many tend to be men rather than women. Isn't that a disadvantage if you don't have women card? Because, for example, if PDP has, let's say, 1 million members, card-carrying members across the country, and even if 400,000 or 350,000 of this number, this 1 million, are women, then they can influence a lot of women to get into positions, you know. So, but if you don't have card-carrying women as party members, how do you communicate to the members to vote for women?
Yes, I agree with you completely that you must be a card-carrying member of a party to be able to, for your voice to be heard.
Yeah.
But I am telling you that we are not protecting democracy. All the women can be card-carrying members of this party. But if you have maybe only 10% of the party leaders that are taking decisions, why is the voice of the card-carrying members? Because you have only the few leaders. I can say our governors. They take decision on behalf of the party. Now they will come for elections, for convention, and they will tell they have a consensus.
Yes.
What does consensus mean? Is consensus democratic? Have you consulted widely for people to agree that, okay, yes, we have agreed on this
particular candidate?
That is not happening. And even if you are a card-carrying member of the party, and if some people have hijacked the decision-making process of the party, then there's nothing you can do. Even the party leadership itself, at times they don't have voice. They are the National Working Committee, but people that control the party are different.
Who are these people?
The governors.
Okay.
Yes.
So in your case, is that what happened? Is it that a consensus prevented you from going into to test your popularity within party members?
Yes, that's what happened.
Okay, so how did it happen?
There was this issue of, as I said, the women in the party were insisting. In fact, there was a decision in the party that said that we are going to have 2 deputies. We used to have 1. And then there was issues in the party, and now the party reverted back to say, okay, let us have 2 deputies, one from the north, one from the south. And they said that, okay, out of the 2, why can't one be a woman? Since we have 18, out of the 18, only 1 national woman leader. If we add one of the deputies to be a woman, at least we are accepting the women. We are giving them space in the party structure. So it was a good decision, and it's the men that agree that that should be the case.
Okay.
That was 2017. And they said they are going to, in fact, insist that it will be put in the constitution of the party, that 2 deputies, 1 should be a woman.
Okay.
That did not happen because it was scuttled at the convention ground in 2017. Now, this time around, they promised us that it will happen. We are going to get it. And the men encouraged the women to occupy 1 position. And I was recognized by the women. Okay, I just contest for us. And I agreed. Okay. And you cannot believe it. The PDP women, all of them agreed. Say, oh, this is our position. And they took it up upon themselves. Even you are talking about buying of forms. PDP now women pay for forms.
Interesting.
We pay with the men. My form was 3 million.
Interesting.
And the women raised the fund. They say, Haji Kobo, we are not going to get Kobo. We are going to raise the fund. And the women raised the fund. And they paid for it.
Interesting.
And they said, this is our position, and all of us are going to work for it. So that was what happened. And as we were campaigning now, they zoned the positions. It was zoned to my zone, Northeast. And from Northeast, it was zoned to Borno and Yobe, which is also my area.
Yes.
And then we agreed that, okay, since it has gone there, in fact, the women were so happy. Oh, Haji, it has even zoned to your house.
It will be easier.
So we started. And then some of our leaders said, no. They have already identified who will be. And the women said, what do you mean identify who will be? This is democracy. Why don't we go to the field and contest? So some of them say, no, we have agreed, so we are going to give the position to somebody. So it's not going to be an election. It's a given position to somebody that was identified by our governor. So that was what happened. And when we came to the women said, they said I should withdraw. I said, I cannot withdraw because it's not my decision. It's the decision of the women and the decision of the party that we should have one deputy as a woman. So I was not going to withdraw. They tried. I said, no, we have to go there. Let me go there and lose the election. I'm a politician. Politicians go for election. You either win or you lose.
You know, and you know that.
Matter.
Yes.
So I want to go there and lose the election.
Yes.
When we went there, guess what? There was a unity list distributed to delegates. And this unity list, those of us that they said we should withdraw, not only myself, some other people. There was somebody from southern Nigeria who also contested for the Deputy National Chairman South. He too was pleaded upon to step down, and the man refused. So our names were not on the unity list. So of course, delegates, they got the unity list, and that was what happened.
So the election did not happen.
No,
it was just adoption
it was
a consensus.
Yes, it was a question of going there and then saying yes to the consensus. That is it. It was not people's choice. No, so, it was.
Thank you. Following this, based on these issues that you are highlighting now, there have been a number of amendments that have been proposed to the electoral bill that everyone is waiting for or at least urging the president to sign. There are two that are probably crucial to the position of women. One of them is the direct primaries, that to make it mandatory for all political parties to actually hold direct primaries. The other one says that the spending cap by presidential candidates and other candidates have been increased. For example, for the president, before the cap was 1 billion naira. Now it's 15 billion naira. So how do you think these two provisions can help or affect women's chances of emerging as candidates for elective offices within the two parties, not just the PDP? Yeah,
well, the issue of finance is also one of the issues that women face. I cannot pretend that we are economically sound to be able to contest, to compete with the men when it comes to elective positions. That is why in some places, even the men, they come together and they raise fund. So even if we identify, we don't look at people with their gender. We look at competence.
Yes.
We look at people that can go there and perform. And if you have someone who will go there and deliver, you can raise the funds for the person. It can be a woman, it can be a man. All we want is for our country to move forward, for our country to develop, and for us to have leaders that will go there and deliver democracy to everybody. So we should not look at it as gender-based thing. The men, they identify somebody who can do the job, and they call a meeting and they say, oh, we are supporting so and so, because they believe that person can deliver. So why not for women? We are all together in this fight. This is something that belongs to all of us. If a woman can do it, why not? She does not have to be rich to be able to do it, but if she has the brains to deliver.
So can direct primaries change this picture? Or would it make it worse for women particularly?
If we have direct primaries, I think it will assist the women.
Okay.
Why? Because we are not talking of competence. People can say, oh, this person is competent, and then we are going to vote for that person. And if we have a lot of people campaigning for that particular person, because that person is competent, then the voice of the so-called leaders will not matter, because people go there and vote. So I think direct primaries will help the women, will help us get more women in the National Assembly, because that's what we are now all looking at. Why don't we have a lot of, because when we talk of National Assembly, we are talking people that will go there and make laws for our country. And a lot of issues are affecting women and girls. So if we have women, there are more women there, they know there are our issues, they will be able to assist. So I think direct primaries will assist us.
Thank you. So what about the situation in the APC? Well, I understand you are not in the APC, but they are woman politicians. So you'll be concerned about how
women also fare in all the parties, you know, the chances that they have in emerging to positions in all the parties. The way you describe the situation in the PDP, and especially as it relates to you specifically, what chances that you see of women emerging into elective positions within the party, the National Working Committee of the party, for which the convention is coming up in February? They even say February 19 and so on. Do you see that APC things will be different for women there than the PDP? And what would that mean?
Actually, as you said, I am not a member of the APC.
Yes.
But what affects women, it affects all of us.
Okay.
When we are fighting for this position in the PDP, a lot of APC women were also praying for us.
Interesting.
Because they believe that if we are able to achieve it, they will also fight for it.
To further their own chance
yes.
as well. Okay.
So our problem is the same all over. But what we are saying is that what we are appealing to the women, to the men, is that they should try as much as possible to give the women chance. In APC, we will pray for them. We want the women in APC to achieve it. Since we cannot achieve it in PDP, they may achieve it in APC. And for us, women, as far as our concern, our constituency first is women. It's not the political parties. We are saying, let us come together, forget about political party. Okay. Let us come together and tell Nigerians that they're not treating us fairly in the political parties. If this country belongs to all of us, we take decisions. When you govern, you are governing all of us. If it's good, we are all good. If it's bad, we are all suffering.
Yes.
So why don't our voice matter? So if APC can achieve it, we'll be very happy. Because it is at least a way forward for all Nigerian women.
But given what you know of the APC currently, with the extraordinary convention working, caretaker convention committee, do you think women have a chance? This is a question we could have put to the Madam Oketeke, the national woman leader, but you can answer.
Well, as I said, they should have a chance. Okay. Because whether we like it or not, the APC and the PDP are like what the Hausa people call Kishoi. So they will always want to outplay the other. So my own, I will say, if APC, if they are being smart, they will assist the women. To now say PDP could not do it, but we have done it.
Okay.
We were telling our party, let us do it for us. Okay. And it will be a campaign issue for the party, that the party is now considering women. But they have refused to take it up. So if APC should now look at it that way and say, oh, let us help our women, it will be something. It will be better for us. So we are happy. As far as I'm concerned, our first constituency is the women.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. So we'll be going on break. When we come back, I'll be asking the question because you said if the APC are smart, which means the PDP have not been smart. So I will be asking whether, and you've said before that if the PDP ignore women, they will do so to their own peril. So I'll be asking or raising the question of what will that mean for the chances of the PDP in 2023? But that will be when we return in just after 1 moment's break. Please stay with us as we take a breath of small fresh air. Thank you.
History will always.
Hello, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV, and today we're looking at the issues around women and the 2023 elections. Please be with us. You can also follow us on all our social media handles, such as Instagram, YouTube, and all the others, and of course, Instagram.
Hajia, you said, like you were quoted as saying that if women, if the PDP neglects women, it does so at its own peril. So what does that mean? And now that they have not been smart enough and have neglected women, with one woman on the incoming National Working Committee out of 18 members, would that affect the PDP in the actual elections next year?
Well, as I said, yes, because women are now smarter.
Okay.
Women are now, look at the bill that was sponsored by Senator Olujimi.
Okay.
That bill, if it had been approved, the Nigerian women will see it as if justice has been done to them. And if justice is not done to Nigerian women...
What are the provisions of the bill that will amount to justice?
We are talking of equity, gender equality. If they fear the word equality, I understand they feel fearing the word equality, well, gender equity or whatever. The issue is that let us create space. Worldwide, the thinking now is that let us create space for more gender inclusion.
Okay.
Because that is fairness. So what I'm saying that the parties will... When they don't consider women, as I said, they do it on their own peril, because as you agree with me that they constitute, in fact, more than 50% of the voters. If the women now begin to campaign among themselves that women are not going to participate in election in Nigeria, do you think the election will be credible?
No.
It will not be accepted because more than 50% did not vote. So our vote matters. If our vote matters, then our voice must matter. Therefore, the parties must consider this as a very, very serious issue. And how do we do it? That is, if the women see the women in the position of leadership in the parties, they will not say, oh, we are being considered, or we have our own there. They are listening to us. But if they are not, because as I said, Nigerian women, we are now wiser. We will not like to go to a campaign and begin to sing and dance. We are not doing it anymore.
Okay.
We don't want to go there and be clapping. We want our voice to be heard. We want also to participate in the decision-making process of the parties. When the national woman, the national chairman, deputy national chairman, some men are saying, why should we have a woman that will lead us, that will be chairman of the party? For goodness sake, in this current situation.
In 2021.
You are not, it's not the national chairman of the party, it's the deputy. Let us see the women, let them see themselves as in the high-ranking position of the party. They'll feel happy. They are not, she's not the chairman, she's just a deputy. So why should somebody fear that one? Why should somebody say, why should I have a woman as
in
my
any case,
chairman?
what's wrong with the woman as national chairman? What's wrong with it?
That is the thing. When we had women as presidents, even of Islamic countries, it has happened in the world. We
even in Tanzania now, I think.
Yes, we had a woman who is a Muslim. She's the president of the country, and we had them before. So why are we fearing to have a woman in Nigeria? In fact, even as deputy governors, I always say El-Rufai has done so well for us in the north. For him to approve a woman as his deputy governor. I'm so proud of him and I'm so happy with him because it has shown that we can achieve it. We can achieve it. If you can't give us the governorship, at least give us the deputy governor. And I don't want to say it, but
this is where we come into the one of the problems that women, I'm quoting research now, not my own opinion, that women tend not to have their own political minds. You talked earlier about voice, that they don't have their own voice. That when it comes to politics, they follow their husbands or their brothers or their fathers. And this is why their voices tend to be just pushed aside, because they don't speak of their own. They follow other people to speak. Could that be part of the problem?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because most of the women that are in politics are really very, very independent-minded women.
Okay.
Women that are well educated. We have lawyers, we have doctors, the women that have been in the civil service before. How can you say a woman that is maybe a former head of service or a former permanent secretary will now go there and insist that what her husband wants, that's what she will do? If they agree, and if he has accepted for her to go and participate in politics. He supports her.
Yeah.
And he supports her views and her opinions. So I don't think that is an issue.
What about the voters, the women voters? Do they follow the men that are closest to them in terms of voting? For example, if the husband is in PDP, she's automatically in PDP. If the husband votes for candidate A, she automatically votes for candidate A. Is that an issue?
Well, yeah, well, that's our culture. We can't run away from it. For sake of unity, for sake of peace in the family, that one is something that we cannot run away from. But there are some issues that now we are now talking of women leadership, and we have women that may disagree with their husbands when it comes to gender issue, because she's a woman and she has a daughter. So if they are trying to say women do not have a chance, what I used to tell them is that what they are doing now, they're not doing it to us, they're doing it to their own children. Because if a girl cannot dream, she cannot dream big in Nigeria. A girl cannot dream to be a governor. A girl cannot dream to be a senator or a senate president or whatever because she's a girl. Is that fair? It's not fair.
No.
So let us create a situation whereby your children can aspire. They can dream big, whether she's a girl or she's a boy. He is a boy. So let us just create this situation for our children. And it can start now. And the women, if her husband says he doesn't like a woman, she has a daughter, what do you think? Her own thinking is that, oh, I have a daughter, so tomorrow, that's what will happen to my daughter. So we have to look at it even in terms of fairness for our own family. So I don't think the women will agree with something that will also bring down their own children. No.
Thank you. So far we've looked at the position of women before they get into power. What about their position when they actually hold office? Either office that they are appointed to, or office that they actually win or join with someone else to win. There is this argument that the men tend to find it difficult to follow women leaders. For example, if you have a woman governor, the reason why women don't become are not successful in when they vie for elective offices is because even when they are successful, they will find it difficult to lead because the men will not follow. Is that true?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think it's true, because we had women in this country that have done so well. Some of them appointed, and they did so well. Some of them elected. We cannot say that because she's a woman, then nobody follows her. In the civil service, you can be promoted and you can become a leader in the civil service for promotion. You go sit for promotion exams and she may win, and she becomes something in the ministry. She's the leader. You can head an organization, government agency, and you can be chairman of the something, and then you lead men. Was she doing it badly? No. So we had women that have done so well. You can be elected. The following, what does following means? Providing opportunity for everybody. Okay. And you are a leader, you take decision. And you don't take decision alone. You have committees that will sit and decide, and then your own is to pronounce it. Okay. So does that affect the position of the man there? You understand? So I think that is not the issue. We had women that have held positions and they have done so well. So for me, I just see it as people that are just not being fair. And I also attribute it to our current economic situation. Okay. Because as it is now, the employment system in Nigeria has collapsed completely. Why? Because we don't have industries that will provide employment for Nigerians. So people now look at politics as the only source of employment. Therefore, the space is too small for all of us. That's why we are struggling for space. Otherwise, if we have big factories that are doing very well, people will just go there and get employed, and then they don't care about politics. But as it is, we are now struggling for a very small space in the political structure. That's our issue. I see it in my own opinion, or that's one of our reasons, is that politics now provide employment for everybody. So we are now struggling for a small space.
And the women and the men are even taking some of those small spaces, because we have situations, for example, in Bauchi State, where you used to have a man appointed as Commissioner for Women Affairs, to the extent that the women in that ministry used to call him auntie, even though he's a man. And then we've also had situations, I don't know whether it's in the PDP or APC, of which state somewhere, where the man was contesting for the position of women leader. So does that mean that men are they are not giving enough to the women, but they're also taking what should naturally belong to women?
Yes.
Or is it true, as these men argue, that I can be Commissioner for Women Affairs or Minister for Women Affairs, even as a man, because my life is intricately bound up with the life of with the lives of women, my mom, my daughters, my wife, and so on and so forth. Which of the arguments?
Well, if that's the argument they are putting forward, then a woman can be the president.
Okay.
Because she has a husband, she has a brother, she has a son. So it's also her take. So what we're saying is that I agree with you completely. There was a situation, it happened in one of the states, where the in fact abolished the Minister of Women Affairs and made it a department in one ministry, and the man was heading that particular ministry. And the women had to really fight for it. We fought for it seriously and we got it back.
Interesting.
Yes. So what we are saying is that the Minister of Women Affairs or the Women Affairs, because there are issues that affects women, and we want to have the Minister of Women Affairs because a woman knows the problems, and she will be able to advise the government appropriately that these are issues that are affecting the women, and we want government intervention. You can appoint a man because he has a mother, he has a daughter, but does he understand the problem affecting the woman? Because he's not a woman. What we are saying is that there must be equal representation in governance. We are also human beings and we are there. Government created us, God created us, all of us, and we should be able to participate. So what we are saying is that it's not just good for somebody to say, I'm a man, I can go and represent her. Okay, great, good, you can go and represent her. But do you know her issues? So it is only fair and just that we are given the space. But as I said, we are now struggling for a small space in the system. Thank you.
So maybe as our last question, I would, before we get to 2023, we have to pass through the Buhari government. You know, we still have about 18 months left. We still have to do 2022 and then some parts of 2023. And then the previous years, from 2015 to date. What can you say about this government in terms of its relationship with women? Has it changed the landscape in terms of promoting women to elective or appointed offices? Or has it brought up policies that have helped women to thrive in business, in jobs, or even in education in other areas? To what extent has this government promoted women or not, simply put?
Honestly, I can say that this government has not done anything for women.
Okay.
I remember during Obasanjo's period, he tried to implement the 35%. We had more than 10 women as ministers.
Okay.
We had a lot of women as permanent secretaries. They don't interfere. Government does not interfere on who becomes what. And during PDP time, we even had a female as head of service of this country. When Jonathan was president, we had 14 women. In fact, he achieved the 35%. 14 women as ministers. Today, how many women do we have as ministers? Which means that level has dropped. And in the National Assembly, as we said, the number of women in the National Assembly have dropped.
Okay.
I can safely...
But that one is not the fault of the APC government?
Well, they are in power, and you see they're in power, they have more governors.
Okay.
They can encourage their states to produce more women in the National Assembly. Because whether we like it or not, the leadership of the states they also contribute on who becomes what. So if it's a policy of the party or policy of the government that we must have this number of women, then we will have more, because APs, they have more governors than the other parties. So it means we'll have more women in the National Assembly. But do we have that? When we talk of issues that are affecting women, we have serious issues affecting women. The government is not addressing it.
Thank you. So I think on this note, thank you very much, Hajia, for coming on the show, and we hope to have you again someday soon. On this note, here is where we draw a curtain for and come to the end of the program. We do hope, I wish the national woman leader for APC were here to give an answer to some of the things you said about their government. But since she's not here, maybe one day we'll have her as well. Thank you for staying with us. Do join us again same time tomorrow for another episode of Daily Politics. I am Suleiman. Enjoy the rest of your day.